It's our friend Paul Rykoff, the host of the Independent Americans podcast, also co-founder of American Veterans for Ukraine. What about this latest on intelligence sharing as part of all of this? What's Trump trying to do here?
I think it's a devastating betrayal. I think it's a crippling of the Ukrainians at a really critical time, and it feels like a total sellout. I mean, I've been outspoken about this. I think he's stabbing the Ukrainians in the back and twisting the knife. I mean, you've cut out their equipment, you've cut out their military support. Now you're going to cut out intelligence. Intelligence is the kind of things that lets them know that a missile's going to hit a civilian area. So to cut that out only benefits Putin.
Or tells them the big targets they could go after.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you could do any more to help Putin than what's happened in the last week or so. And also help people like China and our North Korean enemies and everyone else who wants to see America more isolated and less supported. Because we are now increasingly feared around the world. Our allies don't trust us. And that's a message that comes all the way back out of Afghanistan. When Biden left the Afghans, the world thought, you know what, you can't trust America to stick with our allies. And that's, again, what I think Trump is showing to Ukraine, and it's helping Russia by the minute. This will cost Ukrainian lives. Yeah. It's costing American prestige. And it's really like a gift to Putin on a level we couldn't even imagine.
What do you say to people who says, oh, so it's just part of his negotiation and he really wants peace and maybe he will make some progress at the end? Let me put up the numbers on aid to Ukraine on the tablet. And, you know, some Americans look at this and say, well, you know, this is a lot of money that we've been spending, $182.8 billion. I always circle this number because it's not very well this time, but it's not $350 billion. We get it, right? And we correct the president when he says, I don't know why he says that all the time, it's not true. But it's still a big number, right?
Right.
So people look at that and say, well, 3 years in, even people who support Ukraine's cause, and they say, we got to figure out a way to get beyond this. Do you agree with that as kind of the sentiment? What should our goal? What should our goal be?
I think the whole thing has been flipped upside down. The idea that the Russians are a reasonable group of people we can compromise with, and he's called Zelensky a dictator, and he's victim shaming him constantly, treating him with tremendous disrespect. I think we have to recognize, if you said to Ronald Reagan, we're going to spend $100 billion and take out a quarter of the Russian military, we're going to tie them up and we're going to decimate their armor, we're going to decimate their personnel.
So spend more, double down more, and push Russia out.
Just recognize that Russia is being whittled away, right? And the Ukrainians are as well. We haven't lost a single American soldier. Russia is our adversary, and they have a critical part to play here. If they want peace, they can just stop bombing Ukraine and pull out tomorrow.
Understood.
They have to be treated as an equal, if not less than equal, player in this scenario. And you don't hear him asking for any concessions from Russia. What's he asking Putin to do? If you want to be some kind of middleman on this, at least compliment it every single time with something that Russia has to give up.
So if I
never hear that,
bring up this map and I show you the map on this that's on the tablet in front of me, and you would say, is this like that area right in here that Russia's already taken over? Is that, you know, that's Ukrainian land? That's Ukraine sovereign land coming in. So it seems like, realistically, what people are talking about is some of that's never going back. Is that true? Or you say keep fighting, keep fighting?
I don't think it's necessarily true. I mean, like I said to you before, what if we said, oh, you know, you just have to give up Alaska and Texas?
No, I know.
I mean, this is Ukrainian land. They consider it their land. And giving it up is not...
So you say indefinite support for Ukraine now?
They're going to get the support from Europe anyway, right? The question is, are we going to stand with the Russians or are we going to stand with the Ukrainians? Because no matter what the Americans do, this is probably going to continue. Maybe he can wave his magic wand and Trump can create some kind of peace accord, but the likelihood is that it's going to continue to drag on, and we're either going to be on the right side or we're going to be on the wrong side. And today, it looks like we're on the wrong side by helping Russia and denying intel to a valuable ally.
All right, one more story, because this is coming out today, and you've done so much work over the years on veterans issues. At the VA, apparently 80,000 job cuts. Is that what we're hearing? What's going on?
The flamethrower of Trump and Musk is about to hit the VA, as I've long warned. I think that this is going to be universally unpopular. Independents, Republicans, Democrats don't like to see our VA decimated. And keep in mind, a quarter of all VA employees are veterans themselves. So this is going to spike the veteran unemployment rate. It's going to send a lot of Trump voters out onto the street with no job. And it doesn't necessarily improve care for our veterans. So I think they're going to find out that the VA is often off limits for political games for exactly these reasons. Americans of all backgrounds stand with our veterans, and if you fire tens of thousands of them, there's a backlash. And we're seeing that already, not just at VA, but at Department of Defense, at Environment, everywhere else that they're cutting people. A third of the folks they're cutting are veterans.
Well, we've seen the president's approval rating slip a little bit here over the last couple of weeks. I've been saying, and I think this is still true, that the economy is the biggest risk. It always is for a president, but for this president, tariffs and inflation and all the rest. But this could be another one as well.
I think laying off veterans and military personnel and FBI agents, I think that's a huge political risk. And just imagine what Elon Musk is about to face. You're going to have thousands thousands of veterans protesting every Tesla dealership in America. And how are you going to feel when all those decorated veterans are standing outside of a Tesla dealership pushing back against Musk? This is where he's going to find out about real American politics. And one true rule is you don't cross veterans or you pay.
That's an interesting point. Paul, as always, thank you. We'll see you again next week. Paul Rykoff with us. Well, more on this.